Very good morning. It's Penny Wild, the Black Pen. To start off, I would like to thank all the members on my YouTube channel. I am currently sitting on, I think, 38 paying members. There are 3 membership packages last I checked. 10 Rand a month, 100 Rand a month, and I think 450 Rand a month if I'm not mistaken. I'd just like to thank all 38 members for joining. It means a lot to me. Obviously, the money that you're going to be sending to me every month is going to be used to carry on doing some of the work that I've been doing. You guys know I traveled to Cape Town and did some interviews there. You've seen the panel show. You've seen some of the work that we're doing with the virtual Mkuku with the DJ Spoo. And obviously, as more and more money comes in, I'll be able to do more work on the ground to change the lives of people. And it's thanks to you guys that are donating to me every single month. It really means a lot to me. Thank you very much for all of my subscribers. I think I'm on 26,000 subscribers now. Because of you, obviously, YouTube gets to prioritize my videos. Obviously, some of you watch the ads that are on my videos, and I get to get paid from that as well. And then just thanks to everyone who actually views my content, who shares my content in various ways, in WhatsApp groups, on your other social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, etc. From the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you very much. This video today is sponsored by Kushinda Caterers. Unonhlanhla Mthethwa, who's become a very good friend and sister of mine, runs an amazing catering company called Kushinda Caterers. They've done a lot of TV work, which is actually the core of their business. If you've ever seen How to Ruin Christmas on Netflix, Justice Served, if you've ever seen, there's one coming up, The Brave Ones. And then shows like Gomorrah, The Estate. They've done movies like Mr. Bones. I actually even saw that they did the catering for the interview with Aldrian Sampier and Mihlali. Umuhali Mutawung, who was married to Usomizi. For those of you who are looking to do cooking classes, whether it's corporate, professional cooking classes, or if it's just like team building and workshops, please feel free to contact Kushinda Caterers. I'm going to put their information or their link in the description or in the comments below. And I just want to say thank you to Unonhlanhla for sponsoring this video. It really means a lot to me and I appreciate it very much. Few things that I want to touch on. My interview with Gayton McKenzie is out. You can check it out on my page, Penuel the Black Pen. Gayton McKenzie's just reached his 100 days in office as the mayor of the Central Karoo. And the work that he's done has been amazing. And you can watch that. It's a relatively short interview with him, where I ask him as well if he is ready to be president of the country, where he talks about the fact that he'd bring back the death penalty, why he believes South Africa needs a colored president, etc., etc. Yesterday, on Monday, DJ Spoo and I's Virtual Mkuku episode came out, where we spoke about a lot of things. We spoke about our different channels. We spoke about our interview with Tututuzane Zuma. We spoke about Sol Penduga and Dineo Ranaka and some of the heat that had been trending on the streets. We spoke about the push-up challenge between myself and Nhlanhla Lux. Shout out to everyone who is joining that push-up challenge. Commanders, morning. I think that's pretty cool that we influencing people to do positive things for their lives and their bodies and their health. Not influencing you to go and buy brands and whatever. I'm actually influencing you to make your life better. And that makes me very happy. And it's in line with healthy living, which is one of the principles of Penuelism. Thank you to the people who are watching the latest episode of The Penel Show with myself and Umandisa Mashiko. She's a walking library, a walking history knowledge base, So I think there's a lot of gems that she dropped there. A lot of the comments, of course, were criticizing the sound, and I do apologize for that. We will continue to work on that, It's still relatively new. I think we're on 3 official episodes now, 2 episodes. We will get better. I appreciate the constructive criticism. It goes a long way to making sure that we improve on the quality of what we're doing. A lot of people had commented on how I need to stop interrupting guests there. And I did say it in the comments, but I'm going to rehash it here. The Penel Show is a platform for me to engage the guests. It's not an interview platform where I simply ask questions and the guest gets to answer. Unlike the virtual Mkuku with me and DJ Spoo, where we allow guests to speak freely and we try to interrupt as little as possible. On the Penel Show, I am there to interrupt. I'm there to engage, I'm there to debate, I'm there to share my views. It may not be something you're used to, it may be something slightly uncomfortable, it may not be something you want from the guest, but I'm hoping that as more and more episodes come out, people will start seeing the feel and the culture of that specific platform and be like, well, that's a different space for a different type of engagement. If I want this type of engagement, I go to another platform as well. Congratulations to the All Blacks. I'm sorry to all the Springboks supporters. I love the Springboks very much as of late. At some point, it was difficult to support the Springboks because they felt like a very racist team. But today you've got Siamtanda Kolisi, you've got Lucanio Am, who is arguably the best rugby player in the world right now. He's definitely the best center, backline player in the world right now. Obviously in his injury, Cheslin Colby, Damian Willemse, I like Henry Pollard, I love Stephen Kitchoff. For a while, Peter Steph Dutoy was my favorite Springbok. Amazing guys in the Springboks, man. It's Magazole, Mapimpi. It's tough to hate on the Springboks, you know, and they're playing some really good rugby, to be honest. But I'm an All Black supporter. I've been an All Black supporter generally all my life. They've been having a very tough season as of late, but I'm really proud of the boys. Even though it wasn't a great game, even though there's still a lot of soul-searching and introspection that the guys have to do, even though maybe Ian Foster's not the greatest coach for them right now, kudos to them in tough times under pressure for pulling through, man, and pulling a win away from home at Ellis Park. So shout out to the boys, Sam Kane, Richie Mounga, Adi Savia, also arguably one of the greatest rugby players at the moment. Really great game from the boys, and congrats to them, and Hardy to the Springboks. You guys were bashing us last week. It's our turn now. Hardy to Kaizer Chiefs supporters. I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing. Yes, sir. Yeah, I Sundowns in Nyesile bafethu. 4-0. 4-0. 4-0. Sorry to all Kaizer Chiefs supporters. Congrats to the Sundowns supporters. And for me, you know, it's a beautiful thing watching Patrice Motsepe, who bought Sundowns, handing over the reins of the chairmanship to his son, and watching his son get involved in the team. Like, it's one of the things that I'm passionate about, that I always say we need to speak about, which is succession planning. How are you grooming your children to take over from you? And not just saying it in words, but doing it while you're still alive. I still have a criticism that, may he rest in peace, the late king of the Zulus, Uzwelithini. Uzwelithini should have empowered his sons while he was alive. Misu Zulu, maybe Usmagade himself, and made sure that on certain platforms he lets them speak. In certain meetings, he lets them run the meetings, so that even before he passed away, everyone would know who was going to take over rightfully. And also the boys themselves are comfortable with, our dad has given us a platform to lead before he passed away. Just as I've criticized the ANC government to say, guys, but where is the succession planning? Why are you not letting young people take on some of these positions so that when you guys retire, you're comfortable that you have groomed them well enough? So a shout out to the Motsepe family. A shout out to his Sundowns. I used to support his Sundowns back in the day. I don't really support South African soccer anymore because I think it sucks. And I don't really watch football, to be honest. I used to support Barcelona as well. Ronaldinho, Lionel Messi. But I don't watch that much football anymore. Maybe I'll pick it up, especially now that I've become somewhat of a voice and a podcaster. I love engaging and consuming information and being in spaces that affect the masses of people. And I know football in this country and in the world is huge. So the least I can do is just spend some time getting my football knowledge up and knowing what's happening on the ground. Again, bafethu beKaizer Chiefs ngiyaxolisa bafethu. With that being said, speaking about Sundowns, you know, kudos to Dr. Kaizer Motaung, who was given an honorary doctorate recently. And some of the succession planning he's been doing with Jessica Nkosi and with his son, Junior, as well, getting involved in the family business. Beautiful, beautiful stories. You know, these are the stories we need to celebrate, cherish, learn from, and then implement in our own families, in our communities, in politics, in business, everywhere. So to the Motsepe family, to the Motaung family, well done, man. I'm proud of the work and the brands that you guys have built. Well, more particularly the brand built by Kaizer Chiefs, but also what Motsepe has done with his family as well. And as it's sports at the end of the day. Someone has to win, someone has to lose. Had it to the Kaizer Chiefs fans. A couple of days ago, Leroy Sidambe, the partner of Mihlali and Ndamase, contacted me via Instagram, and he wanted us to have a sit down, and he wanted to clear the air on some of the allegations that had been going around, that Mihlali had destroyed his marriage, she's a homewrecker, and he said he wanted to set the record straight that Mihlali's had nothing to do with the breakdown of his marriage and the current separation between himself and Mary Jane, his wife. We ended up not having that sit down. I'm not sure what the reasons may be, but I am happy that he has released a statement nonetheless. Some of you may have seen it on Twitter, or not on Twitter, on social media in particular. He speaks about the fact that Mihlali has not been involved in the breakdown of his marriage. He speaks about the fact that, he's openly loving Mihlali, and he's happy to have a woman that's openly loving him as well. Mihlali was on Kaya FM with Sol and Dineo. I haven't listened to the segment. I'll give it some time to listen to it. I did make a video last week or the week before speaking about Leroy and Mihlali's union and trying to explain the psychology behind how it happens that we end up speaking about people like this. I think it may have been that video that maybe got to Leroy and Mihlali, and maybe that is why Leroy reached out to me to say, I'd actually like us to sit and chat. I think there's a bigger lesson for me. For those of you who have watched American Gangster with Denzel Washington and Russell Crowe, and Josh Brolin as well, who plays Thanos, there's something called a Frank Lucas mink. For those of you who are big into mafia movies, for those of you who are big into business, learning how to maneuver in this world, the Frank Lucas mink essentially speaks about an event, a clothing item, a person you decide to date that brings spotlight onto you. Hamilton Ndlovu lost his assets, lost some of his business deals because there was I think it was an Instagram video of him buying Porsches for his family. That was a Frank Lucas mink moment. Frank Lucas himself was a drug dealer in America, and as a black big drug dealer, a lot of the cops didn't pay attention to him until he wore a mink coat bought for him by his wife, and he wore it to a big fight, a big boxing match, and all of a sudden people wanted to know, who is this guy? So maybe this is a message to Leroy and to other business people out there. Be careful of how you move, because all of a sudden everyone now knows Leroy. All of a sudden everyone wants to know, how does he make his money? All of a sudden maybe the people that work at SARS want to know if he is tax compliant. All of a sudden some of the people that he does business with maybe don't want to do business with him because of the association and affiliation. So just be very, very careful in how you move. There's nothing wrong with loving someone. There's nothing wrong with loving someone publicly. There's nothing wrong with loving what's called an it girl, an influencer, a celebrity. But it may affect your brand, how you move. Trevor Noah's done a really great job of keeping his private life private. I've had the pleasure of sitting with Theo Baloy of Batu, and he's spoken about the importance of privacy in his life, and other such people as well. You won't see Patrice Motsepe, for example, tweeting certain things, giving his view on celeb gossip and whatever. Not to say that you mustn't do it. It's just to say that sometimes this is what protects you. Protects some of your business deals, it protects how you move, and it removes an unnecessary spotlight from your life. So just be careful in how you move. Musa Kaula, who's become a celebrity gossiper, I believe, the Pope of pop culture, has been running a petition to get brands to cancel their deals with Mihlali. I think the petition, when I saw it yesterday, had over 3,000 signatures. I'm not a fan of cancel culture. I'm not a fan of destroying people's livelihoods and people's careers. I think it is toxic. I think it is unnecessary. And yes, compared to other men who have been cancelled, Mihlali has not been accused of rape. She's not been accused of gender-based violence. So it is unfair for people to be bashing her and wanting brands to take that away from her. But it is a good time for us to also have the conversation of who gets to decide who gets cancelled. and who doesn't? Must you be accused of certain things and maybe not others? Is it about morals and ethics? And who defines these morals and ethics? If a certain man is being accused of gender-based violence, and then you have situations where maybe a Dineo Ranaka is being violent, why is she not being cancelled, as an example? So you look at the double standards that we have in society. Should we be using social media to actually vote on matters that we think are important? It could be which celebrity we think should be cancelled, where we may be speaking to brands and saying, maybe Penuel the Black Pen, these brands, these 5 brands, should maybe work with this person because he is aligned to the work that you do. And maybe social media can actually get brands to partner with certain people as a form of using social media for good. Should we be using it for elections? Who should we be voting for as president of the country? Which political party should be running government, provincial, local government, etc.? Should we be having that type of conversation? I run certain polls on Twitter now, which are giving me a lot of really good insight into how certain people's minds think, how they work, how much money they're making, who they would vote for, etc., etc. So maybe we need to have that conversation as well, just as a thought. But I'm not in support of a petition to get Mihlali to lose brands. Even if Mihlali was the cause of Leroy and Mary Jane's marriage being destroyed, I do not think that is a good enough reason. Alicia Keys is argued to have been a homewrecker, getting Swiss Beats to divorce his wife at the time, and then he ended up marrying Alicia Keys. Was she the cause? We don't really know. But love is love, and love is complicated. And who you choose to be is complicated. Where there is violence, domestic violence, we can have a different conversation. Proven domestic violence. Where there is rape, abuse, murder. Musa Kaula himself has been accused of murder. I don't know if it was culpable homicide. I'm not really sure of the details of the case. We just need to be more sensitive in how we address certain things in society. There are teachable moments. Of course, we can learn a lot, but we must make sure that we are learning, getting better, advising others, but not unnecessarily being toxic and being part of what is wrong with society ourselves. I think those are all the things I wanted to cover, man. For those of you who would like to be members to my channel, please click on the join button on YouTube and you can sign up to be a member, 10 Rand, 100 Rand, 450 Rand a month. For those who would like to sponsor my videos like Unonhlanhla Mthethwa did today with Kushinda Caterers, please feel free to email me. I will drop my email as well, where you guys can contact me. Hopefully as time goes on, I'll be able to get that nice editing software and you'll be able to maybe click on certain things on the video to see certain logos as well. I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly trying to be better. I'm constantly trying to serve you guys as best as possible. Please feel free in the comments as well to suggest certain conversations you would like us to have, certain topics you would like me to cover, so that we can learn and speak together and get better together. Shout out to all my penalists who follow the penalism belief system. Shout out to everyone who just follows me on various social media platforms. Love you guys very much. Have a great day. Let's carry on growing and learning together. As much as you guys are consuming this content and other content, remember to also focus on improving your own personal life. Are you working out? Are you growing your own food? Are you planting fruit trees? Are you spending time with your family? Hugging your mom, hugging your dad, kissing them, spending time with your children, educating and upskilling your children, making sure that you're spending time with your boys, with your girls, playing indoor soccer, playing touch rugby, taking the girls out for netball, going out into nature and hiking, having cooking, Of course, you can go to Kushinda Caterers and get some of your cooking lessons there as well. But are you cooking for yourself? And are you just making your world better? And saying, thanks to Penuel the Black Pen, I have a better relationship with my children. I have a better relationship with my baby daddy, with my baby mama. I have a better relationship and a better understanding with my parents. I have a better relationship with my ward counselor. I now know who my ward counselor is. We have closed some potholes. We have cleaned some certain neighborhoods. We have put up fences. I have planted some fruit trees and I'm about to harvest. And I'm about to post that on Penel's Facebook or on his Twitter. And I'm going to tag him and say, thanks, dog. I've just harvested fruit or vegetables thanks to your preaching and your teaching. I love you guys very much, man. Let's build and let's grow together. Penuel the Black Pen. Cheers.